Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke. A complex political and personal relationship amid controversies. The political and personal relationship between Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke has been central to the governance of Jamaica in recent years. Their partnership combines Holness's long-standing political leadership with Clarke's financial expertise, positioning them as key architects of the country's economic policies. However, this relationship has been marred by controversy, including a failed budget under Clarke's leadership, corruption allegations against Holness, and rumors of Clarke potentially leaving Jamaica for a high-ranking position at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. These issues have placed their alliance under scrutiny, raising questions about their individual roles and the broader impact on Jamaica's governance. Political alliance: Holness's strategist, Clarke the technocrat. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke's political partnership began when Holness brought Clarke into his cabinet as Minister of Finance and the Public Service in 2018. At the time, Jamaica was grappling with economic challenges, including debt management and structural reforms required by the IMF. Holness needed someone with a strong technical background to handle the delicate task of navigating the country's financial future, and Clarke, a Rhodes Scholar with a PhD from Oxford University, was a natural choice. Clarke's role in Holness's government has largely been one of economic stewardship. While Holness provides the political strategy and vision, Clarke has been responsible for implementing fiscal reforms, stabilizing the economy, and overseeing debt reduction. Together, they have presented themselves as a team capable of steering Jamaica toward a brighter economic future, with Holness's leadership and Clarke's expertise working in tandem. The puppet narrative: is Clarke independent? Despite Clarke's strong academic and financial credentials, critics have suggested that he functions more as a puppet of Andrew Holness than as an independent political force. This perception stems from Clarke's limited experience in electoral politics before his appointment as finance minister, and his relatively low political profile prior to joining Holness's cabinet. Some opposition figures and political commentators argue that Clarke, though technically proficient, implements policies dictated by Holness without asserting his own vision. This narrative is bolstered by Clarke's willingness to publicly defend Holness during moments of political crisis, such as the corruption scandal discussed later. However, supporters of Clarke maintain that his influence is significant behind the scenes, particularly when it comes to shaping Jamaica's economic strategy. While Clarke might defer to Holness on political matters, it is widely believed that he plays a crucial role in crafting and refining the government's economic policies. His relationship with Holness is seen more as a strategic alliance, where Holness relies on Clarke's expertise to execute his broader political agenda. Clarke's budget blunder, a political setback. One of the most significant challenges in the relationship between Holness and Clarke came in 2023. When Clarke's budget for the year was presented with numerous errors and inconsistencies. The national budget, a critical document outlining Jamaica's financial priorities and expenditures, contained miscalculations that became a major point of contention. Opposition parties, particularly the People's National Party (PNP), were quick to highlight these errors as evidence of incompetence within the Ministry of Finance. Financial commentators also weighed in, noting that such mistakes, while not catastrophic, undermined public confidence in the government's ability to manage the country's finances. The errors included calculation mistakes that raised questions about the professionalism and preparedness of Clarke's team. Clarke took responsibility for the mistakes and moved quickly to correct them. He emphasized transparency and accountability, but the damage was done. The budgetary blunder became a significant talking point for critics of Holness's administration and cast a shadow over Clarke's reputation as a highly competent technocrat. It also raised concerns about the internal workings of the Ministry of Finance and led to calls for greater oversight in the budgetary process. For Andrew Holness, the budgetary controversy was a political liability. As Prime Minister, he had to stand by his finance minister while also addressing public concerns about the government's competence. While Holness defended Clarke, the incident undoubtedly strained their partnership and exposed vulnerabilities in their administration's approach to economic management. In addition to the budgetary errors, Andrew Holness's administration has been dogged by a corruption scandal that has further complicated his relationship with Clarke. In 2023, the Integrity Commission launched an investigation into Holness over allegations of conflicts of interest involving government contracts awarded to associates during his tenure as Minister of Education. The investigation centered on whether Holness had improperly influenced the awarding of these contracts, leading to accusations of corruption. Though Holness was not formally charged, the investigation tarnished his reputation, and critics seized the opportunity to question the ethical standards of his administration. The scandal created political turbulence within the JLP and put Holness on the defensive. Nigel Clarke, as a senior member of Holness's cabinet, was drawn into the controversy. He publicly supported the Prime Minister, defending Holness's commitment to transparency and governance. However, Clarke's close association with Holness also meant that any political fallout from the corruption allegations could have long-term consequences for his own career. Some observers argued that Clarke's loyalty to Holness during this period reinforced the perception that he was too closely aligned with the Prime Minister to act independently. Clarke's potential move to the IMF, abandoning Jamaica, adding to the complexity of Clarke's relationship with Holness, are the ongoing rumors that Clarke might be offered a prestigious role at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Given Clarke's impressive academic background and his experience managing Jamaica's finances, such a position would be a fitting next step in his career. However, the possibility of Clarke leaving Jamaica for an international post has sparked concerns about whether he would be abandoning the country at a critical time. Clarke's departure to the IMF would create a significant void in Holness's cabinet, especially as Jamaica continues to navigate economic challenges, including inflation, post-pandemic recovery, and global financial instability. Critics argue that Clarke's exit would leave Holness without a key advisor and technocrat, potentially weakening the government's ability to manage its economic policies effectively. On the other hand, supporters of Clarke argue that his appointment to the IMF would bring prestige to Jamaica, positioning the country as a leader in international financial institutions. Furthermore, Clarke's influence at the IMF could benefit Jamaica in the long run, ensuring that the country's interests are represented on the global stage. For Holness, Clarke's potential departure would be a mixed blessing, while losing a key minister would be a setback. It could also open the door for new leadership within the Ministry of Finance, and signal that Jamaica's economic recovery has progressed to a point where Clarke's immediate presence is no longer essential. The political and personal relationship between Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke is complex and multifaceted. At its core, their partnership is built on a shared vision for Jamaica's economic future, with Holness providing the political strategy and Clarke the financial expertise. However, their relationship has faced significant challenges, including the fallout from Clarke's budgetary errors and the corruption scandal surrounding Holness. As Clarke's potential move to the IMF looms, questions remain about the future of their partnership and the broader direction of Jamaica's economic policies. Whether viewed as a puppet or a key technocrat, Clarke has undeniably played a critical role in Holness's government, and his departure would mark a major turning point for both men. In the end, the political and personal relationship between Holness and Clarke will likely be remembered for its impact on Jamaica's economic trajectory. Whether that legacy is one of success or controversy remains to be seen. We'd love to hear your comments. It will be interesting to hear what your thoughts are. Subscribe to Jamaica Diaspora Diaries for more diaspora news that affects us all. Like, share, subscribe and comment so you will be notified when we drop new content. Thank you.